So amid heightened scrutiny on officers' use of force tactics, a new investigative piece from ProPublica looks at a litany of recent cases where immigration agents use chokeholds and other life-threatening maneuvers that can restrict breathing or blood flow. This despite a federal ban on chokeholds and similar tactics. Joining us now, one of the reporters behind that piece, Nicole Foy, who covers immigration and labor for ProPublica. Nicole, it's great to have you with us this morning. Flesh out your reporting a little bit, what you found in this investigation, and just reading through, as we were talking about a minute ago, it's extraordinary the extent to which ICE seems to be operating outside of all these norms and guidelines that have been established in recent years.
Yeah, one of the things that we found in our investigation is that over the past year, we've found more than 40 cases of immigration agents using these banned chokeholds, banned carotid restraints, and also a number of moves that police departments across the country have banned in recent years, especially since the murder of George Floyd, but also just things that many experts and law enforcement experts have highlighted as this is a use of deadly force. And so therefore, this is not something that you can use unless there is a serious deadly threat. And yet we've found dozens of videos showing this happening to immigrants, to minors, to U.S. citizens around the country.
During the course of putting the piece together, assembling the reportage on the piece, did you run into at all the idea that there seems to be a very short training period for ICE agents and their backgrounds might not be all law enforcement prior to getting to be a member of the ICE brigade that goes to places like Minneapolis, and that could result in them using force that is truly banned by most large police departments in the country?
Honestly, it wasn't a huge factor of what we found in our investigation. It certainly is something that many people are asking about. But these are cases that are stretching back for months before we really saw this increased level of hiring really hit the streets. Many of these officers, as we saw in the case of Renee Good, have been on the force for quite a number of time. What we've actually heard is that many of the training for ICE and for Border Patrol, it explicitly trains people not to use these procedures, but yet with this increased pressure on quotas, with this also just so many officers spread across the country in these really unplanned and not incredibly coordinated, especially with local officials, just operations. Our experts have told us that that's what leads to more and more of this I think, behavior that normally they wouldn't want.
They are clearly unfamiliar with working on a street in front of large crowds of citizens.
Well, that's some of that as well, is because some of these are not just ICE agents, they're Border Patrol agents who even have less experience in these urban areas. And there's certainly, to your point, great pressure from the White House to get those numbers up. Nicole, tell us, if you will, maybe give an example of one of the cases that you covered here that was particularly egregious.
I think one that really sticks out is the case of a 16-year-old U.S. citizen in Houston. He was driving with his undocumented father, and they pulled over. His father ran into a restaurant in order to escape immigration agents. The 16-year-old is a U.S. citizen. When he ran into the store after his father, ICE agents used a chokehold on him in order to restrain him. You can hear him in the video shouting, "I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm a minor, we're going to school." And yet you can see the officer continuing to use a chokehold. He told me he truly thought he was going to pass out and die in that moment. His sisters had to take him to the hospital immediately afterwards because he was dropped on their doorstep and they didn't know what even had happened to him, except his shirt is torn. He's got bruises all over his neck. He can barely speak. That's one of the reasons why it says that even if the DHS's own policy says that even if a subject is fleeing or resisting arrest, it's not a time that the policy recommends using deadly force, because you can have these types of really difficult results and really dangerous results even for children.
Are there any repercussions from this from the superiors here? I note in one of the examples you give, a man goes into seizure, says he can't breathe, and DHS tweets out, "Imagine faking a seizure."
Yeah, that's generally been the response from top officials. We sent them every single video and example and many of the allegations that we put into our piece, asking them, can you point, please, to where, what led here? What caused the officers to decide to use deadly force against a 16-year-old, against a woman who was, a arrayed observer? And they said, in every case, our officers acted with utmost professionalism, and we see no issue with their conduct.
And we saw that from the top in the case in Minnesota, also from Christine Ohm. New reporting online now, explosive piece from the reporter ProPublica covering immigration labor, Nicole Foy. Nicole, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.